As you start to go through the Bible, you really start to find how so many stories in the Bible really relate to your personal life. And the book of Job has always become my favorite book in the Bible because look at what Job went through.
Yeah.
Look at the pain he went through, the sacrifice, but look at how he was used in such a mighty way because he persevered. And when I read the book of Job and when I started to read certain scriptures, certain books, it just really started to speak to me. Like when we think of Ephesians and we think of the whole, putting on the whole armor of God.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard that scripture in your lifetime?
Oh,
How many times have you heard a sermon on that?
Yeah.
How many times have you heard a Bible study? But when you can honestly say that you know what it's like, Kris, I know what it's like to put the full armor of God on, be behind bars, and know that God is going to protect me.
Yeah.
Most people would say, but you're in jail. How do you know that? But what's faith?
Yeah.
The unseen.
That's right.
Right? So I know what it's like to say, I had the full armor of God on. I knew I was protected in jail. And you hear my voice elevating because I was convicted, I was convinced, and I knew that I knew that I knew that I was protected in jail.
Yeah.
I knew that God had my back. I knew that nothing was going to happen to me as long as I continue to pursue him and put him first. So, something really vital happens. And when I share this is the story that no one can ever challenge me on whether or not God is real. So after I'd gotten sentenced, some guys came back and they're like, hey man, there's a loophole. And guys in jail, they know loopholes. We all know loopholes.
Yeah.
And they said, hey man, there's a loophole in the system. When they tell you they're going to send you to rehab and like they tell you they're going to come to jail and they're going to pick you up and they're going to take, there's a loophole. If the clerk in the courtroom doesn't write and push the right buttons, they let you go scot-free. And I'm like, come on, this stuff don't happen to me. Like no one lets Joseph don't go scot-free. Like, no, I've been busted every single time.
Yeah.
So Kris, you talk about, is God real? So I knew my release date. They don't call your name until like 2 a.m. That's what time you get released from jail. For all of you wondering, why do you get released at 2 a.m. from jail? There's 2 main reasons why you get released at 2, 3 a.m. from jail. One is that's the deputy's shift change. And the second is the county gets money for you for the next day. So if you stay past midnight, they get money for you for the next day. So those are the 2 main reasons why you get released from jail at weird hours of the morning. You don't get released like at 4 o'clock and make it home for dinner. So I'll never forget. I'm on the phone with Felicia and I'm like, hey babe, like we're excited. Her and I are doing amazing. Haven't seen each other in almost a year and our spirits are built. She's found a home church with my parents. God's moving in her life in a mighty way. And we ain't even together. And I said, well, babe, tonight's the night. I'll talk to you maybe when I get to rehab. I'll write you a letter. Don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, so we hang up on the phone, lights out, 10 o'clock. Obviously I can't sleep because I'm antsy and I know my name's going to get called, and it's about 2:30 in the morning and you hear the intercom come on and it's Mendoza, roll it up. And I'm like, this is it. So, in jail, you have all but 2 minutes to roll it up and get to the door. And let me tell you, if you don't roll it up and get to that door in 2 minutes, they will make you stay in there longer. When you talk about leaving your past behind, when you talk about leaving your baggage behind, when you talk about leaving earthly possessions behind and going forth with this new mentality perspective on life, I grabbed 2 things and took them with me. I grabbed the Bible. I took 3 things with me. I grabbed the Bible, I grabbed the Purpose Driven Life book, and I grabbed every single letter that Felicia had written to me. Everything else, I didn't care about. I need to take the Bible. I need to take the Purpose-Driven Life book, and I got to take these letters. I grabbed the 3 of them. Everybody, 200-man barrack, everybody hugging me. Everybody hugging me. Man, we love you. Because they saw the person that I was in a year's time there. And guys were looking to me for hope, for inspiration, for guidance, for prayer.
Wow.
And here I go. I go out. And from the time you go out that door to the time you process out, it's about an hour time, because you got to go through certain things. You got to go get your property. Now, mind you, Kris, putting those clothes on from the accident a year ago was tough, because there you find yourself where it all began.
Yeah.
What led you to this point, this moment. Bloody clothes. Put the clothes on, because you ain't going to walk out with no clothes. Put the clothes on. Then you go to the next room. You got a fingerprint. They got to run your background, because they got to make sure you have no warrants and no holds. And that's where a lot of guys get caught and they get sent right back in because they have warrants or holds, or they get taken to a different jail or different county. So I get through there. Then you get to your possessions. Car keys, cell phone, wallet, belt, things like that. Get all my possessions. Then the last thing is you sign for everything. It's like you sign saying everything's good. I got everything back. Nothing's wrong. So you can't, come back later and say something happened.
Yeah.
And then there's a famous button they push. And it's the loudest unlocking of a door sound you will ever hear.
Yeah.
And when that door unlocks and pops, it's like you're scot-free. But in my mind, I'm thinking there's somebody waiting for me on the other side of that door. Remember, I'm going to rehab. The judge told me you're going to go straight from jail and you're going to go to rehab. So my mindset is there's somebody waiting for me on the other side of that door to grab me by my hand and say, hey, Joseph, nice to meet you. We're going to rehab. It's going to be all great. Bells with. So that's what I'm expecting. I open that door. There's nobody there. And now I'm thinking the loophole. I'm like, wow. So you go down, and I know they call it like the walk of fame is what, when you get out of jail, it's like the walk of fame.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the kind of walk of fame you guys, want to experience. So I make the left, and then you get to the bottom to where the lobby is. And I'm like, there's nobody in the lobby. I'm like, wow. Okay, this is interesting. Well, maybe I'm going to walk outside at 3:30 in the morning. Maybe they're going to be in a van, and they're going to jump out and greet me with the red carpet. Walk outside. There's nobody, Kris.
Wow.
Nobody. I meet this individual in a car. He lets me use his cell phone. I call Felicia, and she's like crying. She's like, are you joking? Like, you said this could possibly happen. And I said, babe, I promise I'm here and nobody is here to get me. It is 3:30 in the morning and I'm freezing too. And I need my mom and my dad to come get me. So we get my mom and dad on 3-way. My mom and dad come and pick me up. Kris, you want to know if God is real? Let me tell you. That's Friday morning. I call the rehab. Hey, it's Joseph Mendoza. You guys didn't come pick me up. Like, what happened? They're like, we don't come pick you up. What do? I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get taken back to jail. They're like, can you report? Listen to this. Can you report to the rehab Monday morning at 10 a.m.?
Wow.
I said, wait a minute. Today's Friday, so I don't got to come till Monday? And they're like, you don't have to come till Monday. Can you come Monday at 10 a.m.? I said, I will be there Monday at 9:30 a.m. Hang up the phone with them.
Wow.
Kris, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday with my family that I hadn't seen in over a year. You tell me God's not real? Only God could have pulled that one off.
To give you that time.
To give me that time. And let me tell you, that time was so needed because that time propelled me into rehab and it gave me that extra boost. It gave me that extra confidence, that motivation. It gave me that God is real. He's for me, not against me. You know, through him, anything. I believed it. Man, I was on fire after that. I believed it. And I said, I'm going to sell out. I'm going to do everything for you, God, because you made a way where there wasn't supposed to be a way. Here I go home with my family and I get to spend time with everybody after a year of being in jail.